that also when we took the office in 2007, we started a reform into the police institution. So we're quite a little bit confident in that at this stage that once the UN leave in 2012, Timorese police will take over the responsibility, and then I'm quite sure there will be no major crisis afterwards.
Damien Kingsbury, are you just as confident?
I have more reservations. I think we've got to go back to the basics, and that is that when Timor-Leste became independent, there was an aspiration that it would leave behind the authoritarianism of the Indonesian period, and in many respects the police are continuing to replicate the models that were here in the mid-90s. They were trained by the Indonesians. Many of the police are those who were employed by the Indonesians, and many of the practices continue to reflect the Indonesian era: corruption, business activities, brutality, unaccountability. So whilst there are improvements, I don't think they're quite there yet.
Jose Bello, how much confidence does the East Timorese people, or do the East Timorese people have in their own police force?
For me, as a Timorese, we have to be optimistic.
But being optimistic is one thing. Are they confident that the police force will be able to take over national security?
Well, the police force is still weak and fragile, and it still needs more help. But the UN has failed to help this Timorese police force to be moving as professional as it is.
In what way? How?
Well, the UN police, you can see on the street here, they're just driving their big bank cars, just driving like mad. And they are not really helping the Timorese police up in the districts.
Francisco Gutierrez, it doesn't sound like the local police will be able to take over at all.
I think many of the internationals are looking at the situation before 2006. They didn't really look at what we are doing right now. They don't want to understand what we are doing right now. To be honest, I agree with Zebello that, to be honest, since 2006 up until now, we see there are a lot of improvement, and then UN is doing nothing. I always say to many people about the UN is only fast in doing report. But in terms of action, they are doing nothing.
What do you mean by doing nothing? What can they do? What should have they been doing in the last 10 years?
You can look at that in the village, in the sub-district. There is no UN police over there. There are only police officers working in the sub-district. I don't really agree that with James as well, saying that, well, the police is really corrupt. It's not. Now you are building, we are start building. You can't compare a police of 8 years old with a police in New York in Australia. It's something different. They took 200 years to build this police to become a good one.
Damien Kingsbury, do you think the UN has failed in terms of trying to get East Timor's police up to scratch?
The UN has drawn from a very wide base, and many of the police that they've brought here have themselves not been at the top of the level of performance. There's no doubt about that. But there's also a cultural issue, and I don't mean Timorese culture, I mean the culture of the police force, which continues from the Indonesian period. It continued up until 2006. And whilst the Timorese police force, the PNTL, has been rebuilt since 2006, it continues to have elements of that culture in it, which are very, very difficult to resolve and to overcome. I think the real question is, yes, the UN hasn't done a great job. There are limits to what it could achieve. The question is what sort of program will go forward into the future to assist the PNTL to become even better.
Francisco Gutierrez, what do you think that program should be?
You have to provide them a future into the institution itself, the police. We come up with we call it the promotion regime, career regime. The career regime provides them a future into the PNTL. From that, you can motivate them to start working professionally. So I think this is something we're going very slow, but gradual.
Jose Bello, is this a question of training or is this a question of resources?
Well, it's a matter of mix, actually. Yeah, it's from the beginning, the setup itself, it has been wrong setup, and it's becoming like this. We have to deal with this kind of problem. The chain command of the PNTL is still weak. FFTTL, the external security defense, are strong enough because of the chain command is strong.
Is it then fair to ask the foreign forces to leave in 2012? It really doesn't sound like East Timor's National Police can take on security at all. Damien.
Can I just say that I respect the improvements and the reforms that the government's been making. They have been making a real effort. And they have been recognising and tackling the problem, and I think we should recognise that and acknowledge that. And the UN has failed, and it hasn't done an adequate job. The question is how do we transition forward beyond 2012? Is the answer to cut out training entirely, external training, or is the answer to have a graduated process or a slower drawdown, or perhaps a smaller training force here, but a more highly skilled force, somebody who can do their job better, I think, than has been done in the past.
Francisco, would you agree with that?
We're now preparing the transition of the UN until 2012 at the end. So in 2011 March, we will take over. At least we call it the full handover. From that on, and we start at we call it five main programs with the UN. First one is about legislation. We have to prepare everything, legal basis for the police. So in terms of legal basis on accountability and everything about the rules of engagement and everything, you have to prepare
That all
everything.
looks very good
Yeah.
on paper, though. But in the past and from experience, we've seen gang warfare on the streets. We've seen the police and the military clashing with each other. We've seen rifts within the military, within the police itself. Is this really a force that's
I
able,
don't-
that we can trust to take on the national security?
Now, because if you look at the past, if you go in deep a little bit into the past, what's happening is the UN has set up the police without all the attributes with the police, without any necessary accessories, without laws, without regulations, without proper training. Now we are revising that.
Jose Bello, are you just as confident that if regulation, if rules are set down, that the police will set aside their rifts, that they will be able to take over national security?
We are billion institution. As a human being, it has to be complete. We can't only build. We can only have a leg and a head, no stomach. It's not a human being. So a police force for us is needed, and it has to be strong enough. Otherwise, this country is going to be run by the gangs.
We've been talking a lot about the police and about the National Security Force, but let's talk about the judicial system here in East Timor as well. Damien, if I could throw this question to you, how confident are you of this country's judicial system? Is it strong?
The judicial system is improving, like the police force. It's an improving institution, but it is still fundamentally weak. There are still too few judges, too few lawyers. The language issue is terribly complicated. We find, for example, in Baucau, if you have a trial, the judge will speak Portuguese. It will be the evidence will be translated into Teton and then into a local language. So you have 3 layers of language just in the evidence system. And of course, there's no real rules about interpretation. So what happens is you find that interpreters actually start to embellish or change or modify evidence. So the judicial system suffers there. It is building, it is getting better and stronger. The other problem, of course, is that there is still an element of a culture of impunity where certain people can engage in criminal activities and be seen to get away with it.
Is this country politically stable enough to stand on its own feet without foreign help?